Few spots of rain on the camera lens now as our third and final Ginetta G40 Cup race of the weekend is imminent. We've got the cars making their way onto a green flag lap. Thankfully all of these cars run on grooved tyres though, so they won't have to change tyres. Setup wise though, if it does get really wet, things could get a little bit tricky. So we will wait and see what happens. The cars making their way onto this green flag lap then. We had a race earlier on today that was won by Rob Keogh, and that was a really decent victory for him. Actually benefited from a penalty for our race one winner, Alistair Barkley. A 10-second out of position start penalty for Alistair Barkley meant that he was demoted to second position. Well, Andy McEwen here up in the comms box with Graham Goodwin. Looking forward to more Ginetta action.
Yeah, it was Daniel Morris that was out of position. Alistair Barkley had the recovery drive, but it was really unfortunate. Just a metre or so further forward than it needed to be. And I'm afraid his post-race celebration was rather ruined by the immediate news that 10-second penalty came forward. But recovered fourth with his pace, just by dint of pulling time out of the cars behind. But yes, another new winner in G40 Cup, and a healthy grid of these cracking little cars.
Yeah, the first three races of the year were won by Alistair Barkley. Last time out at Alton Park, he inherited that second place earlier on and would very much like to get back to winning ways if at all possible. The grid scrolling through at the bottom of your screen. Rob Keogh and Alistair Barkley are your front row. Jimmy Thompson and Daniel Morris row 2, with Roy Alderslade and Daniel Smith next in line. It's a fairly standard grid actually, because we had a reasonably low attrition rate. There were 2 non-finishers from the previous race, Ian Duggan and Sean Fleming, but they were both starting towards the back of the grid anyway from that previous race, so no one really had a position to watch for from the back. I guess the battle here is going to be between Rob Keogh, Alistair Barkley and Daniel Morris. They've been the 3 fastest drivers here this weekend. Alistair Barkley desperate to get another victory after the dominance last time out, and Daniel Morris keen to redress the situation from race 2.
Absolutely, and get to see what can be done. 840 kilos, these cars, about as big, about as heavy as a family bag of crisps, with 130 or so horsepower to play with. That's plenty enough for some real entertainment. We saw it the first race earlier today. We're going to see it again here. There's something about the last race of the day that seems to draw out a little bit more the excitement, the aggression, all of that. So stand by for action. If your sofa's not fitted with a 5-point harness, you might wish it had been.
Yes, and the drivers, I think, are going to be grateful that these cars are fitted with treaded tyres, because it is, we believe, getting a little bit damp out there. It's more psychological rain there at the moment, I think, isn't it? But that can take its toll if you're sort of arrive at a corner, a high-speed part of the circuit, and suddenly there's moisture on your windscreen. It catches your attention, that, doesn't it?
Absolutely right, and many of these guys will have stepped up from the GRDC spec of car. These just one level up, more adjustments available to them, semi-slick tyres for these cars. Pretty little G40 body, much the same, as they come round to form up the grid now. 1 or 2 of the cars with the wipers playing, just looking up and down the spectator banks here. No sign at the moment of anybody putting up the umbrellas. That either means they're very hardy or they haven't got one. So we'll wait and see what goes on from there. But a few spits and spots of rain in the air. Hopefully we don't get any more than that. What we'd like to see is some quick and close racing to finish the weekend for G40 Cup.
See, as someone who spent their childhood spectating at Alton Park, I've learned that an umbrella is an essential bit of kit to bring with you to the racetrack. Perhaps people down this neck of the woods aren't quite as accustomed to having to deal with the inclement weather. I've been told it never rains down here.
It never has, not since 1932. That's about 28 minutes to 8. But no, Alton Park, yes, it's land of my fathers, just 20 minutes away from my family home, and yeah, weather has been a key part of my experiences there. Ready to go then?
Yeah, we've got 15 minutes on the clock. We've got hopefully 18 cars on the grid, and it's Rob Keogh with the white car of Alistair Barkley alongside him on the front row of that grid, all watching the lights, ready to go racing for the third and final time this weekend. Race number 6 of the Ginetta G40 Cup for 2019. Rev start to rise, red lights go on. Will Rob Keogh lead into the first corner? It's going to be pretty close, I think, between he and Alistair Barkley. They're wheel to wheel as they run down into Rich's corner. Keogh has the inside line, but the line, maybe with the more momentum, is going to go to Alistair Barkley on the outside. Will he brave it out? No, he ducks back in line. So it's Keogh from Barkley, the top two. Side by side for third there with Jimmy Thompson on the inside and the blue car of our race one winner, Daniel Morris, on the outside of him. That will be the first significant side by side battle into the hairpin. Alistair Barkley outbrakes himself a bit there. Nearly loses second position to Jimmy Thompson, who has fended off Daniel Morris for the time being. So the order is Keogh from Barkley, from Thompson, from Morris, but Morris back on the inside now for third place, and he will take it at Palmer. Something tells me that Danny's going to be a bit fired up in this one, Graham. Yeah,
neatly done, and he will want the race win. He'll feel he was slightly robbed. Tiny error, gridding up. Big penalty, I'm afraid, rather a small penalty with a big consequence, and goes up the inside for second immediately.
Nicely done there. Door left open by Alistair Barkley, and Jimmy Thompson might take advantage as well. And this is what I mean, you see, these were the mistakes that Alistair Barkley just wasn't making at Alton Park, and for whatever reason, he doesn't seem quite as comfortable here at Snetterton. He's back down to fourth position now, off the podium places. I did notice that Danny Morris had parked an awfully long way behind his grid marking on the at the start of this one, leaving no room for error, and as a result, no penalty, and he can now go racing for his second victory of the season. Out of Williams they go down the Bentley straight. The top two getting away now. Danny Morris chasing down Rob Keogh with Jimmy Thompson, Alistair Barkley, and I think it's Roy Alderslade in fifth position, debating the positions behind them. Barkley looking back at the inside here for third. Is he late enough on the brakes? He's got the inside line.
Yes, he's got it. Yeah, neatly done there, but we've got a full battle underway now for the race lead. Keogh ahead of
Danny Morris in second place. 5th lead though, really nice, because for whatever reason the top two weren't all that rapid through the complex, and they've been reeled back in again now by the 3 cars behind. So maybe the weather as well playing a part in that. It's looks like that's the part of the circuit that the rain is coming in from. Side by side for 4th place there. Up the inside goes car number 14. That is Daniel Smith, in fact, into 4th position now.
That was because of a bit of a fumble there, I'm afraid.
That will be Jimmy Thompson, I think, that he's drawing alongside then, will it? Yeah, come across the line.
Coming into the braking area, bit of a wiggle on, and that gave enough room for move he made, but he's fighting back up the inside, retakes a position.
So often the way here at Snetterton, isn't it? You get up the inside at one corner, and then becomes the outside at the next corner, and now Roy Alderslade is going to try and pick the pocket of Daniel Smith, who instead, the best form of defence is attack, they say, and so rather than losing a place, he gains one anyway on Jimmy Thompson, finally makes it stick. I'm not quite sure, Graham, how he got the car stopped, but he did.
I suspect his opponent saw that coming, ducked out of it.
Yes.
Discretion the better part of valour. Meantime, for the lead.
Yeah, Danny Morris attacking here. Windscreen wipers on for Alistair Barkley in third, who's coming back at them a bit, isn't he?
Absolutely, very much so. He's regathered himself.
Morris to the outside at Hamilton. Keogh just about was clear to move over to the racing line.
This is tight, and it could go any which way between these three at the moment. Under brake. Oh, dear me. Yes.
I think Rob Keogh was a bit earlier on the brakes than Danny Morris thought he'd be there.
I think it's more of a headbutt than a love tap, that one.
Yes. Now, the risk with these cars is that you can dislodge that bonnet, can't you? They are, so I've been told by Lawrence Tomlinson anyway, they're designed actually to come loose, so it deters drivers from making front to rear contact. It looks as though Daniel Morris has got away with it, but in the tow, he's closing back in on Rob Keogh now, who's got the windscreen wipers going himself, under braking down towards the left-hander, right round the outside for Morris. No, he can't do it. Keogh fends him off again, locks up, hits the floppy markers, gets into the corner, comes out of it still in front. This is getting very tight though.
Watching Barkley as well, he's keeping a watching brief here. We've seen it's getting a little bit, well, physical for the lead, sitting back, letting that unwind, letting that happen. He'll see whether or not there's an opportunity now to get into the lead battle.
Yeah, 3 for the lead then, as they come into Murray's, but they're a country mile ahead of anybody else, aren't they? And anybody else is a side-by-side battle for 4th place at the moment, and that's Daniel Smith fending off Chris Salkeld. Chris started 7th, so he's had a good race. He's up 2 spots, he's into 5th position.
DNF, of course, the race earlier today, so he'll be looking to make amends in terms of the points.
Indeed he will. So, lap number 2 in the books. Fastest lap goes to the man in 3rd place, Alistair Barkley. Salkeld back on the inside of Daniel Smith there as they head through Rich's corner. yeah, Daniel Smith, who came
Up
through
the
from the back, didn't he? Side by side for the race lead here, Graham.
And I don't think it's going to work there. Got the better run into, but the worse run out of the corner.
Yep, and again, that becomes the outside line anyway for the next 3 turns. The next 3 are left-handers. What you really want to try and do is get your opponents to fend into that one there, Palmer's, and maybe run wide and give you the inside line for Agostini. It's not happened yet. There's another opportunity maybe to try that switchback manoeuvre here, though.
Because begin to see the results of that contact with the rear of the 35 car, bodywork flapping on the left-hand side at the rear.
Yeah, it's not too bad at the moment, but if it gets any looser, it will start acting like a parachute down these long straights. And with the slipstream effect as it is, that's not going to help Rob Keogh anymore, is it? It will really allow Daniel Morris to carry more speed in a straight line. So they keep a bit of real estate between themselves this time through Oggies, but they're heading on to that long Bentley straight now, the slipstreaming part of the circuit where you can close right in, you can maybe attack down at Brundle and Nelson, which is one of the few parts of the circuit that didn't change when they reprofiled it a few years ago. They kept Brundle and Nelson the same because there was nothing wrong with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It always has produced good overtaking opportunities, and that's what Daniel Morris is hoping to exploit now as he weaves this way and that behind the orange and black car of race leader Rob Keogh. But still no way through.
Beginning to see just a little bit more raciness from Alistair Barkley here in third.
Yeah, fastest lap last time as well, 2:17.3. To give you an indication though, the fastest lap earlier on was a 2:13.7, so yeah, it's raining somewhere, isn't it? It's rather slippy out there. They're just not able to run anywhere near the pace they were this morning. Gavin Murray's
super close, trying to force the error from the leader.
Another chance now maybe to get the toe, but he seems to be going on to these straights about a car length or so too far back, doesn't he, Daniel? If he was a little bit closer, he'd be fully alongside into the next braking zone, but then you don't really do that much braking into Riches, and so there is no way through there. For 4th place, this is still going on, and finally Chris Salkeld is up the inside line into Riches' corner. He might not complete the manoeuvre. Oh, contact for the race lead, that's Morris. He's gone for it up the inside of Rob Keogh. They've both gone straight on, and Alistair Barkley takes the lead of the race, or does he? Keogh tries to fight back. 2 wheels on the grass, he's got the inside line for Palmer's, braking pretty much simultaneously, but he will go back through. Alistair Barkley, for a brief second, thought his luck was in then, but he gains 1 position out of it, and the big loser was the aggressor, Daniel Morris, who went for the lead and ends up 3rd.
Yeah, Chris Salkeld actually picked up 2 places the last 2 laps here to go 4th, but it's all about now what's happening for this battle for lead. Alistair Barkley did play that waiting game. It paid off there, almost paid off absolutely big time. But Keogh able to just recover his momentum.
Yeah, recovered the lead, but now Alistair Barkley with a renewed sense of opportunity here, and he's forced another mistake nearly out of Rob Keogh there. Daniel Morris, I'm convinced, is the quicker of the 3 though, because look at the way he's already latched back onto them. He was a good sort of 3/4 of a second back, I think, after that moment. And he's right back on the tail now of Alistair Barkley in the white car in 2nd place. So still any one of these 3, realistically, could take the victory.
6.5 minutes to go. Here comes Morris, looking very racy again, looking as if he's got the momentum. Oh, this time though, on the inside.
And I think he's going to get him, is he? He's got the inside line for the bomb hole, and Alistair Barkley's gone through. Nicely done. We saw a couple of little mistakes earlier on in the lap there from Rob Keogh. For Alistair Barkley, he knew he... Oh, that's a fairly big shunt for... yeah, number 8 is Ian Duggan, who not finished in the previous race, and I fear he may not finish this one as well. Not sure where that is, but he's out of the race. Let's hope he's out of harm's way, because we really don't want a safety car to put this battle on ice. It's been a fantastic fight for the victory between Alistair Barkley, Rob Keogh and Daniel Morris, and the battle's set to resume now, because even though Alistair Barkley is in the lead, he's not going to be able to escape, I don't think. Rob Keogh is forcing him to defend into Rich's corner. Wide line in, tight line out for the 2nd place man. He took up the inside down to the hairpin.
But both the chasing cars got good momentum through turn 1. Into the braking zone. No way through for Keogh.
What about Morris though?
Under contact, I think, to the rear there. But Morris round the outside. A great run through there. He's got 1.
Oof.
Can he get 2? Nearly.
That was very close
on the inside. No room there.
This is phenomenal racing, isn't it? It's very touchy-feely. It's sort of inches between front and rear bumper for all three of them, but Daniel
almost
Morris,
3 wide here, but not quite. Up the inside again from Keogh. No way through there.
So we're on to the 5th lap of the race. New fastest lap, or not new fastest lap, but the fastest lap belongs to Daniel Morris from earlier in the race. He's into 2nd place now. But Alistair Barkley, you give him the lead and you give him a bit of an advantage like this, and he is a difficult man to keep up with. We saw this at Alton Park, and you wonder whether now in race 3 of the weekend here they found a sweet spot with this setup and have managed to give him the tools that he needs to pull away. Now this is a replay of the mistake for Rob Keogh. Just got on the dirty side of the road, didn't he? And there's no grip there.
Barkley didn't need asking twice, did he?
Yep, 3 goes at the bomb hole. So Alistair Barkley then is your race leader. That is where Ian Duggan's gone off, I assume, down at the S's.
Double yellows there.
No overtaking therefore allowed at that part of the circuit, and that was good news for Alistair Barkley, I think, because Daniel Morris had arrived on his tail in a real hurry. Here's a replay of what happened to Ian Duggan. Oh, there were 3 cars involved. 58 up the inside there was Julian Waddling.
Contact.
Yeah, waddling into the side of him.
And then double contact, and I'm afraid took the radiator off the front of the car.
That is a spectacular end to the race. It didn't look as though that was a massive amount of contact to the front of the car, but it's just caught it at the wrong angle, hasn't it, and dislodged the radiator, as you said.
Yeah, double contact to the rear, turned the car around, nowhere for the 3rd car involved to go, and impact with the front left corner. Took off the bonnet and neatly sliced off the radiator as well.
So, leading 3 go through, but the fastest man on the track is the man in 4th place, Chris Salkeld. He's catching these 3 with a new fastest lap last time around, and then 3 abreast for the race leaders. Dan Morris goes to the outside of Alistair Barkley, gets elbowed onto the grass for his trouble, but that opened the door for Rob Keogh at the inside, and Keogh goes into 2nd place again. Daniel Morris is going to be well and truly miffed after all of this. If he leaves Snetterton with only 1 race victory, that will not be what he was hoping for, or what he was expecting, I'd imagine, when he woke up this morning. Clearly was the pace setter yesterday, but lost the race 2 victory because of a penalty, and now every tries he might, he just can't get into the race lead and stay there, can he?
Still trying, back onto the track after a grassy moment, straight back with Keogh, almost looked like he could take it there. Seems to, certainly quite right what you said earlier, Andy, has the quicker Ginetta here, but racecraft, I'm afraid, Alistair Barkley is schooling this pair at the moment.
Yeah, he's got out in front and he knows where to defend, doesn't he? And how to always play the other 2 off against each other. If he backs up the 2nd place car, it forces them to have to defend from the 3rd place car. And life might be about to get even more complicated for these 3, because there is a 4th car about to be added to the mix. Just there is Chris Salkeld, the white and black car in 4th place. New fastest lap last time out, and he is catching the 3 of them.
He's catching the 3 of them very, very quickly, running out of time to do it. But took another second out of the pair of them on the last lap through the yellow flag area. Nose to tail for the lead still. Nose to tail almost for 3rd. They're about, I think, about a 2.5 gap. Then we get Chris Salkeld in 4th.
Well, at this rate, Salkeld could be with them by the end of this lap. If he can pick up a whiff of a toe, then he'll be there, and he'll be arriving with momentum, won't he? Which we made the point a few times today, that once you get sort of caught up in these battles, you all end up running the same speed. Often if you can arrive with a bit of overspeed, then you can carry that momentum through.
Well, he's more or less there now. This will be the last lap.
Oh, we're going to be side by side again. Oh, that was the last lap, excuse me. The checkered flag is coming out early, so well, that's a shame, because that was setting up for a really nice grandstand finish, but we've got some GT racing to do in a moment or 2, so the organisers doing their best to keep us on timetable after some earlier delays. Anyway, it is going to be Alistair Barkley that takes his 4th victory of the season, and we do get 3 different winners from our 3 races here at Snetterton. Rob Keogh is 2nd. Daniel Morris, well, he will not be happy with that. Lost out on the victory earlier on, and try as he might to get the lead in that one, it wasn't working, and he ends up with 3rd place for his troubles. Chris Salkeld needed that extra lap, I think. otherwise he may well have been able to come onto the podium. That is the rolling remains of Julian Watling's car as he waves to the crowd, waves to the marshals as well. That's after that contact he had with Ian Duggan. To continue going down the top 10, Jimmy Thompson is 5th, 6th position goes the way of Daniel Smith, 7th Roy Alderslade, who is the leading G40 Cup driver as he was in the previous race. Bill Forbes is 8th, 9th position goes the way of Martin Wills, 10th place for number 42, which was who was number 42? It wasn't number 42. Surname West anyway, but he's not on my grid sheet. Either way, there is confirmation of that result. And Mike West it must be. There we go. It's been a long old day. Alistair Barkley then with the victory, and he will extend therefore further his championship lead that had been eaten into slightly over the first 2 races of the weekend. But a victory in race 3 is just what he needed to regain some confidence, I think, after what had been a trying weekend up to this point. Keogh 2nd, Morris will join them on the podium, but that 3rd place finish is about 2 places further back than it looked as though he was going to finish for most of that race. Great racing all round though once again from the Ginetta G40 Cup, and they will be back out at the next round of their championship, all trying to beat Alistair Barkley again. Here are some highlights then of what was a frantic 15 minutes of racing. Close stuff at the start. Rob Keogh it was that had the lead down into turn 1, but Daniel Morris launched an attack and elbowed his way through. They both ran wide, and that was the invitation Alistair Barkley needed to get past the pair of them. Keogh was briefly back in front a few laps later before making a mistake at Nelson, allowing the white number 99 car through into the lead again. There was contact between Julian Watling and Ian Duggan down the complex that spun Duggan around, and a secondary bit of contact tore the front bodywork and the radiator off the car entirely. 3 wide racing for the race lead was not an uncommon sight, but at the end of it all, it was Alistair Barkley who took his 4th victory of the season and extends his championship lead.